Today I'm working on a few new lampshades ideas because I've got a meeting with a client soon and I want to show them something fresh. I don't really want to use lampshades that I've done for other clients, so I thought it would be a great chance to sit down, open Fusion 360 and just explore some different directions. So this is not going to be a step-by-step tutorial. This is going to be more about the thought process, how I start with an idea, how I test different shapes, different things, how I change things that don't work sometimes, and how I experiment until something starts to feel okay. So let's jump in Fusion 360 and let's have some fun with this. So let's start this project by measuring our build plate, and I'm going to make a square from the middle, and I'm going to make it at 256 by 256. So that's the size of my build plate, and that means everything I build inside of this is going to fit my 3D printer. So for my first lamp, I'm going to take a line from somewhere at the top. It doesn't have to be all the way to the top, and somewhere at the bottom. Now my next line is going to be 25 millimeters, and this line is 25 because I want to make a small cut on the bottom of my lampshade to accommodate for the lamp holder. So the lamp holder is going to be 29 millimeters, and this one is going to be 50 millimeters because I need to give it some space to get stuck onto the build plate. So the next line is going to be the top one, so I'm going to make this one somewhere here. Doesn't really matter that much, and I'm going to take a fit point spline and go somewhere there and somewhere there. Now I can take this one and play a bit with that, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to finish this sketch, take my area and revolve it around this axis. So that's my very basic lampshade. Of course, it's not a lampshade yet because I need to make this a shell of 1.2 millimeters, and I need to make that small cut to accommodate for the lamp holder. So that's going to be 29 millimeters, and I can take this and I can extrude it minus whatever, press enter, and that's the cut I have for this thing basically. Okay, so let's go back home, and this is the very basic lampshade, and I'm gonna save this one because some people like very basic stuff, so who am I to judge? And that is saved as basic. So I'm gonna go straight to the bodies, and I'm gonna rename this body as basic. And I want to keep this body. I want to always keep the original. So I'm going to make a copy of this, and I want to hide this basic one, and I want to keep that. I never want to work on that. So I'm going to say okay to this, and I'm going to work on this. So I'm going to say this version 2, and let's see. Okay, so let's start with a sketch, and I'm gonna take a line, and I'm gonna take a rectangle, and I'm gonna do the top of this, and I'm gonna make another one somewhere there. Okay, and I'm gonna say finish sketch. And I want to take these two and I want to extrude them symmetric, and I want to intersect. So I'm going to go all the way through and say okay, and now I have these two rings at the top and the bottom, and I can start making things inside using this basic one. So I'm going to make another copy of this. I'm going to leave it as basic 2. whatever. Let's hide this basic. Let's hide these two as well. and I want to work on this. So I'm going to make another sketch, and I'm going to take a line from here to there, and I'm going to offset this line so it's going to be 100% parallel. And I'm going to take another line from there to there and from there to there, because I want to create a profile. So let's do the same thing. So I'm going to create no, I'm going to say finish sketch and extrude. One side this time is fine, and I'm going to do intersect, and I'm going to take a cut from this one. Okay, that's pretty good. So let's create a pattern with this. No, actually, let's make a mirror first. Okay, so I'm gonna say body, and this body, mirror plane, this. Okay. That's gonna be very strange. Okay, let's go with it. Create pattern, rectangular, circular, sorry, body, this one, axis, this one, and let's get about, ooh, that looks cool. If I get more, ooh, even better. Okay, that looks really cool. I think 20 is too many, so let's do 12. I think 12 is fine. Okay, that looks really cool. So if we make these two visible as well, then you can see we have the top and the bottom. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Let's select everything and combine them. And say okay. You won't be able to see these lines on the normal STL file. And I'm going to show you, this is the STL file, so there's no lines on it. And if you don't want to see them in Fusion, you can just go to display settings and visual style, and you can change the visual style. So shaded is like, it looks like this, and yeah, you won't be able to see the lines. So that's another version to make a lamp, and I want to show you one more because I'm playing with a lot of ideas, but not everything is interesting for everybody, and I just want to show you just a different style of a lampshade. So let's take a new project, and I'm going to create a new power design, and let's measure our build plate. So I just like to make this frame because then I'm sure I'm not going to have to shrink it or do different stuff at the end. So I'm going to do 226 by 226, and I'm going to finish this sketch, and I'm going to actually extrude this by 226. So that's exactly the size of my build plate. And I want to work in this dimension. So I'm going to make this, change the name of this into build plate. And I'm going to hide it for the moment. And I'm going to go to the sketches, and I'm going to take a circle of 40 millimeters and finish the sketch. And I want to take that circle and create an extrusion with the form tool. and I'm gonna go up to 245. Okay, and I want to have, let's say I want to have 12 faces, and I want to have front faces, let's say 4, maybe 5. Okay, 5 is fine. So let's make this, let's modify this, and let's have a look at the top of it. And I'm gonna go orthographic, and I want to make it big. So I want to make it about there. Okay. Well, actually no. So I'm gonna take this one, and this one, and let's have a look at the top. And I'm gonna modify them and make it big. I'm gonna make it about there. Okay. I'm gonna take the top of this, which is this one, and I want to make this one big as well. Well, at least bigger. I'm gonna make it somewhere there. And I'm just gonna play around with this till I get a good shape that I like. Okay, so let's try selecting every second one of them. Every second one of these lines, and let's make them a bit bigger. Okay. And now let's take 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take these two, and let's twist them a bit. And get these two and twist them a bit the other way. So let's have a look at the top, and obviously this is way too big for the... Okay, this also is too big. Okay, so that's kind of our limit. Now in that case, let's make this one a bit smaller to get that shape again. And I think I'm pretty happy with this. So let's close this and let's hide this and finish this form. And that looks actually pretty cool. And I need to close these surfaces, both of them, and then select everything and stitch everything together to get a solid shape. And from here I'm gonna do the same I did before. I'm gonna shelve this by 1.2, and I'm gonna make a hole on the bottom. I'm gonna sketch it actually, and I'm gonna make it at 29 millimeters and finish this sketch and extrude this hole. So there we go. And now I can save this one and send it to the 3D printer. Let's have a look at what settings I'm gonna use in Bamboo Studio, and I'm gonna actually send this to print because I really like it. and I will keep working on other ideas until I get something that I really like. And I'm probably gonna show about 3-4 variations of different things. And this is actually the best way to learn and to practice making things. Just repetitive work on an idea. And don't worry if you fail miserably, you can just always start again and just close the project, start a new project. That's it, done. And yeah, so let's drag this into... Actually, I'm going to show you one by one the difference in settings. So I'm just going to start with the basic. I'm going to drop it on the build plate, and this as it is at a layer height of... I like to do the layer height quite big, and I'm gonna just go with a generic PLA, and I'm gonna slice this plate, and the time to print one of these lampshades is 5 hours 41 minutes. Now this is a very basic stuff. Even if you print it in translucent PLA, it's gonna look interesting. You can have different color light bulbs inside if you want, and you can have a smart light bulb, change the colors, do whatever you want. Now, one thing I really like to do to these lampshades is to add a fuzzy skin on the outside. So if I go to fuzzy skin, and I'm gonna go contour, and I'm gonna change the point distance to 0.4 millimeters and the fuzzy skin thickness at 0.4 millimeters, and slice this plate, you're going to see a massive increase in time. So 5 hours something was the other one, and with the fuzzy skin it's 11 hours. And that's because when it does the fuzzy skin, as you can see here, fuzzy skin is a really cool effect, but when the printer does the outside layer, the fuzzy skin, the head has to travel a lot to create that fuzzy skin. So I'm going to show you right here, I can drag it back and show you how much the head has to travel to create that fuzzy skin. So it adds extra distance, like a lot of extra distance, to create that outside layer. So that's where your total time changes dramatically. It's quite a large object as well, so 11 hours is not too bad actually. Let's have a look at the ribbon one, and I'm gonna keep the same. I'm just gonna take the fuzzy skin off for the moment, so none, and I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna import the ribs one. So that's the one with the, let's call them ribs. This also looks really cool. Let's see how much it takes to print it without the fuzzy skin. So I'm gonna slice this plate. So this is 5 hours 29 minutes, and yeah, it looks pretty good. It's got some interesting patterns on it, but I would always like to add fuzzy skin on this. And let's apply the fuzzy skin, but this time I'm gonna apply all walls, and I'm gonna say slice this plate. Now this is 14 hours and 55 minutes because it's doing the interior as well, and I think this would look really cool as well, maybe with a bit of a rougher fuzzy skin. So I'm gonna change that. Let's see it. The thickness, I'm gonna change it to 0.8. So this is gonna increase the time again by maybe a couple of hours. So let's press enter and slice this. Wow, so this one takes 1 day, 2 hours and 26 minutes. But I think it would look really cool because the fuzziness on this thing is unbelievable. So look at this. This is really cool. And it's got one layer in the middle that overlaps every other layer, and everything else is just fuzziness. This is actually pretty cool. But yeah, probably I'm not going to print this, and I am very, very tempted to print with this with a 0.6. Okay, so that's actually a good surprise. So with a 0.6 nozzle, it takes 18 hours and 41 minutes. And let's see, but this is actually just fuzz, so I don't think that would work because you don't have that middle layer anymore. Well, you kind of do, but not really. So yeah, this is just going to be a bunch of fuzziness. Now, I would be very tempted to get my machine to print 18 hours of this, and 254 grams. That's a lot. So that's going to be quite heavy. So yeah, if anybody wants to print this, I can just ask me and I'll send you the file. I'm probably just gonna load the file onto my Patreon page, so you can find the link in the description. And if you want to print something like this that's so fuzzy, you can just take these settings and take the file and go ahead and print it. I might print it at some point, I don't know. Anyway, let's go to the next one. So I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna delete this one, and let's import the one I actually want to print. So I'm gonna take this one and I've called it ribbon, and I'm gonna change this back to 0.4, and I'm gonna change this to 0.6. So I'm gonna have a good balance between fuzziness and time. So let's slice this plate. And I know what some people say, oh, that fuzzy skin, it's a dust collector. And yes, it is, but it's also very easy to clean. So if you just dust it off with a paintbrush, with a dry, clean paintbrush, you can clean it very, very easily. So I've had these kind of lampshades in my house for a very long time, and just simply you take them off. You can even wash them under the sink or in the shower, and they'll dry off quickly, and you can just install them straight away. Just make sure you don't install them wet, because that's a problem. Electricity plus water, it's no. So that is a 22-hour 25 print, and I think that might be a bit too much for this, and I'm gonna try to change a few things to get some more speed out of it. Okay, so that's 14 hours, but I just realized that my fuzzy skin is on all walls, and I just want the contour, and I'm gonna go back and make it a bit bigger, but not by much, just about there. So I'm gonna slice this plate again, and before I do that, I'm gonna change this to 0.3, and I'm gonna slice this because I want to, like I said, I want to show this to somebody, and that meeting is very soon. And if this one fails, I don't really have a backup besides the ones I already have installed in my house. And I have a few more lying in the studio, but the other ones are all very big, so I want to get something a bit different. So I think I'm going to be fine with 7 hours 39 minutes, and yeah. Let's send this to my A1. I'm going to load up the translucent filament, and I'm going to get it printing, and I'll see you when it's done. So this is it, guys. This is how I think about making lampshades. This is how I design things, and this is kind of my thought process. If you like this video, give us a like and a subscribe, and maybe share it with your friends. And you can find all of these designs on my Patreon, and probably I'm gonna design some more and upload some more of these designs in time. This actual lamp is not gonna go to anybody because it has a little problem with this layer differences, and it's actually very visible and it's not good enough to go to anybody, so it's probably gonna hang around in my house for a while until I give it for free to somebody. And yeah, just play around with your designs, play around with Fusion 360, and just have some fun. And I think if you're having fun and if you're trying different things, then eventually you're gonna learn more and more about the software and more about designing really cool stuff. If you like this type of video, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll make some more about designing other stuff. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.